What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Dougie Fresh, looking like a homeless man with a hoodie on. I really don't like wearing this hoodie for that exact reason, but that has nothing to do with the video. Today, we are going to be talking about the SBS that was revealed for Volume 99. If you don't know what the SBS is the little section in the volumes where fans get to ask Oda questions, and he answers them. Sometimes it's serious stuff that we actually want to know. Sometimes it's some bullshit. I'm just going to be talking mostly about the actual important information. If you want to look at the SBS yourself, you can check out this website called Library of Ohara. I believe they have all the SBSs starting from volume 90 to 99. So yeah, if you want to go look at that, go ahead. But yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. You already know what I say. Let's just get into the video. So the first important thing that we find out is we finally get the name of Kid's devil fruit. We find out that the devil fruit is named the Jiki Jiki no Mi, which means the magnet fruit. And obviously it lets the user freely manipulate metal using magnetism. In the SBS, Oda mentions that he says, let me read exactly what he says. He says, I should have mentioned it somewhere within the main story. Next time I'll draw something about it. I agree. I don't know why he didn't mention it in the main story, because literally there was so many times where he could have done it, but he just didn't. But you know, it is what it is. At least we know what it's called now. I mean, we could have all assumed it was called the magnet fruit because it's just the most likely answer. But yeah, that's the first thing we find out. Then the next thing that we find out, this isn't like super important, but to me this is important. So we find out that Otoko, if you don't know who Otoko is, she's the little girl, or she's Yasue's daughter. If you don't know who Yasue or Otoko is, then just look it up. That's your problem. But we find out that Yasue and Otoko are not actually blood related, because someone asked Oda who is Otoko's mother, and Oda says that Yasue was married. Then let me check what he said. He says, he says, long ago Yasue used to be married without any children, but after he lost his wife, he remained single. So then after he lost the Kaido and Orochi and they took over Wano, then he found Otoko and he just started raising her as her own. And he also mentions the fact that Otoko does not know that Yasue is not her biological father. Now, the reason why I thought this was pretty important is because I think in the last SBS, in the SBS or the Beaver card, we found out that Yasue, he didn't eat a smile like we thought. So when he was smiling, he was doing that to make everybody else in Ibisu town feel better. So we just keep finding out this information and makes Yasue's death mean even more to me than it did the first time I read it. And I just thought that was some cool information that you guys might want to know. Next thing we find out, Oda gives us Yamato's height and weight. The height part really is not that important. Yamato's pretty tall. I think he says she's about like 2 Luffy's. He gives a specific height, but I don't care about that. Just wanted to point out the fact that Yamato was 28 years old, and she was born, Oda even says, obviously, she was born the same year as Momonosuke. So Yamato and Momonosuke would be the exact same age right now if Momonosuke actually grew up for those 20 years instead of skipping to the future. So I just thought that was something a little interesting, because we didn't know how old Yamato was up until this point. Now we know. Now the next thing that we find out is something I thought was really interesting. So let me read this specifically off of the Library of Ohara website. Where is it? Also, just do yourself a favor, read this SBS, because there's stuff that's not really important here that is really funny, and that I just think you guys should see because it's hilarious. So the reader says, in chapter 966, Roger and Rayleigh said as they were holding up Momonosuke and Hiyori, I haven't spent time with a baby in ages. And they said, reminds me of the old days. But in those old days, whose baby did they spend time with? It doesn't seem like there's any women aboard Roger's ship. So then Oda responds, it says, And they said that, and then he does a question mark, and he says, that's just, and then he has ... and then he puts sweat in parentheses. He says, just skip that bit. It's nothing to worry about, nothing to worry about. So people brought this up before when the chapter first dropped. And since then, I've come up with my own One Piece theory. This is Dougie Fresh's original One Piece theory. I believe that this is in reference to Shanks and maybe even Buggy. I think that Shanks is a celestial dragon baby that Roger and them recovered at God Valley, because that would explain how Shanks is able to get an audience with the Gorosei. Other than that, I can't think of why the Gorosei would even talk to Shanks, and that also explains why he gets so much respect. Not only is he a Yonko, but I think he's a celestial dragon. So that's my little theory right there. I think that's what Roger and Rayleigh are talking about, and I feel even more secure in that theory because of the fact that Oda said, oh, just skip over it. So yeah, that's my little One Piece theory for you. Okay, this is something that I think is really important. So Oda gives us a breakdown of how the smile fruits work. So let me go back and read this. Okay. So let me read what the reader said. The reader said, Odachi, in chapter 978, there's a gifter with a giraffe devil fruit yelling funk at the live floor, who is a different person from both Kaku and the headliner Hamlet. So could it be that smiles can produce users of many different types? Particularly, doesn't matter if there already is a natural, assuming they're natural devil fruit user of that animal. So Oda says, sure, smiles are artificial devil fruits, so they're completely different things from regular devil fruits. To put it roughly, Punk hazards SAD, or SAD, a liquid made by mixing the lineage factor of all types of various animals. Then it's Dressrosa's Smile Factory. By letting plants suck up SAD, or SAD, they produce strangely patterned fruits. And then at the Wano country, only 1 in 10 of these imported fruits will grant animal abilities. So in other words, they aren't related to real devil fruits. That's why gifters with the same animals exist, and why ability users for Logia, Paramecia, or mythical type zones cannot appear, since lineage factors can only be extracted from already existing organisms. This is Caesar's limit as a scientist. However, the genius scientist Vegapunk might or might not have been able to research beyond that boundary. So, this is very, very interesting. Because this is a question I had. It makes sense because I feel like Kaido wants a crew of like all zones and beasts because it's the Beast Pirates. So I was wondering, can they make artificial devil fruits of Logias and Paramecias? We get that answer. Let me see exactly what he said. Yeah. But, oh yeah. And the mythical type zones. That was also something I was wondering about. And that makes mythical zones even more interesting. So lineage factor is basically DNA in One Piece. So because like dragons and Phoenix and Buddha don't actually exist, and also you can't get DNA from like light and magma and rubber and shit. So because they can't get that lineage factor, they can't create smile fruits of that. So they can only create smile fruits of actual animals that exist. That shit is very interesting. And it makes it even more interesting because he said this is Caesar's limit as a scientist. However, the genius scientist Vegapunk might or might have not been able to research beyond that point. And we know he did because Vegapunk created the dragon fruit. Now, we still don't know why the dragon fruit is considered a failure. But the fact that Vegapunk could do that, it just proves that he's like, bro, I can't wait to meet Vegapunk, bro. He found out how to feed objects devil fruits, and he found out how to recreate mythical zones into artificial devil fruit. This nigga's unmatched, bro. Like, this is why you need to read the SBSs. You need to read the Vivre cards, because if you don't, you will not know information like this. Sure, it might be revealed later in the story, but I just think this is crucial information. So this is the last thing I want to talk about. This is important, but it was just funny. So somebody asked Oda who his favorite smile designs were. Or yeah, he said among the smile fruit users, please tell us who are your top three. So his number three is Speed, his number two is Hamlet, and his number two is Oldham. So why I just thought it was funny because Hamlet is the giraffe smile, and he's the one where he's like his body's on the giraffe neck, and I thought that shit was so funny. And I just want to say for the record, my favorite smile designs so far are Hamlet and Fortrix. And probably it might even be Dobon from Udon. He was the hippo dude, like that. His body was inside a fucking hippo. But Fortrix is probably my favorite smile user because I don't know. Not only is the name funny, but his design is fucking ridiculous. So yeah, that's it for the video. I probably won't make another video talking about the miscellaneous stuff, or maybe I will. Maybe I will, but that'll be for another time. Anyway, it has been your boy Dougie Fresh. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace out.